Morning, Kev here. Loads of improvements this week, but I want to start off with my 3S routine, something I discussed in the WhatsApp chat. So I'll show you the state of my workshop, typically as it is in the morning before I start work, and then how I've standardised my 3S routine. I've done it for one day and it worked really nicely, so I'm going to try and improve that process over time. So there's a few new guys on the chat. So I'm Kev, I make upgrades for tabletop board and card games, things like Dungeons and Dragons, niche things like that. So this is the state of it. I've only got a small workspace, and I mainly laser cut the things. So I've come in this morning, this is pretty much how it is. Now, believe me, this is a million times better than it ever would have been a year ago. But I've got a little filming area here, which is pretty clean. I've been doing more on that. A photography area with some crap piled up on from yesterday. I've got the sin of a few pieces of work in progress, and I was doing some hobbying last night, so that's just some of my geeky paraphernalia that I didn't put away because it was late. A tool that I left out, and a little bit more work in progress. Then over here, I've got the laser cutter, which to be fair is pretty nailed down. I've got over here some labels that have fallen down, and a bin that's got some stuff in it, but that's pretty good. And I've got a little area here where I do a bit more filming and prototyping, so that's a game called Gloomhaven I'm making some bits for at the moment. So it's not terrible, but it could certainly be improved. I'll show you my screen that I've done on Trello. It's like a checklist. And I'll go back and show you how I'm thinking of applying it. So this is Trello. It's a place you can run project boards, Kanban board type things. A lot of project managers use them. I've used it for a checklist for 3Sing. So I've got 3 columns: sort, sweep and standardise, and actually they're duplicated, but I'll come on to that at the end. Basically what I do is when I go through my 30-minute 3S time at the start of every day, once I've completed each stage, it gets dragged into the right hand column, then I wipe the laser outer, clean the mouse and keyboard, vacuum the floors, it's out of order, empty the bins, wipe the surfaces, vacuum the floor, and so on. And during that time, I will have noticed things that bug me, things like that roll of stickers that have fallen down, so I'll start trying to make some kind of improved hook in the standardised section so I can label things up. I've got a drawer inserts that I'm working on. I'm always improving my auto hotkey shortcuts. So these are like a list of prompts, really, things that I can standardise. When all that's completed, hopefully the 30 minutes is up. If not, I'll use some more improvement time till I've got my 30 minutes. And then I need to reset the list. So I had this brainwave yesterday that if I have 2 columns, all I do is pick the column up and drag it like that, and it's finished, and that's ready for the next day. So the reason why I did this is my 3S time in the morning was pretty haphazard. I was improving things, but there was no real format to it, and I just kind of flipped from one thing to another. Do a bit of improvement, bit of cleaning, bit of whatever took my fancy. So this way I get things done in a standard way, and hopefully I will move to a position where the workshop is perfect when I work in the morning. So hopefully that was a good insight into my new 3S routine. Welcome any comments, obviously. Now for the improvements. What I'm trying to do this week is just keep the noise down as much as possible. Energy bills are going up, so I want to save energy. But also, I'm cutting more than I ever have done. As I'm getting more and more orders, the equipment's running more. I'm in a residential area, I want to keep the noise down. And also for my own sanity, I want to keep the noise down. So these are some things that I've done to improve the noise levels, along with a few other random improvements. So between cycles, I've got 2 pieces of equipment that are running. I've got the extractor and the compressor. Both are switched via switches on the wall in really awkward spaces. So what I should really do is switch them off between cycles. If I've got a bit of downtime because I'm doing some design work but don't want to switch the laser off, I don't typically, I just leave them idling because getting under there is a pain. So what I've done is I've spent about £30 on some radio controlled plug sockets, and here mounted, magnetised, favourite thing to do, magnetised onto the front is the remote. Now I can switch them off, easily kill that noise. So saves energy, saves my hearing, and make sure I'm being the most considerate neighbour I can. First improvement of the week, dead easy. On the bottom of here, I've found out there's a stand built in, so it actually makes it in a much better position for grabbing tape. Next, we're actually going to fit the little cable ways that's going to tidy up all these wires that are everywhere. So let's get to it. There we have it, some cable ports installed on the worktops. That makes things a lot neater. Now we've got the fancy radio control switches, I don't need to use this switch on the front, except I did from force of habit of 2 years of pressing that switch, and then when I came to press the radio control button it didn't work and I freaked out. So I'm just going to label this up on and off so I don't make that mistake again. So I've resolved that problem just with a couple of labels and some visual controls in the form of red and green stickers. And then as soon as I had the red and green stickers out, went mad, did the new remote switch and labelled up the compressor extractor, and then also labelled up the key switch positions of red and green for on and off. So I'm now running the laptop down the side, and it works great because all the cables from the various pieces of equipment are plugged into there. But when I want to do some design work, I've got to stand up at the laser cutter as a standing desk type format, and that's fine sometimes. Other times I want to sit down or work from a different location, in which case I've got to unplug everything and move it. So what I've done is set up Duet, and then I can now use my iPad. And here we have it. We're running Windows via my laptop on the iPad, so I can work anywhere in the house or at the other side of the workshop without affecting any of the goings on from the laptop, and I can still run software and laser cuts from the laptop. So it's very convenient. There's a small lag, but it's certainly good enough for my purposes. Won't want to do video editing or any serious 3D design work on it, but for bits of vector editing, it's fantastic. So that's the improvements for this week. To think, when I first started, I thought I was going to run out of improvements. Basically, there's not enough time. So between the stuff Andrew taught me about, the goal from Eli Goldrat, concentrating on the bottlenecks, that was really helpful. But also, more recently, looking at just improving the systems of stuff I do every day, because that seems to compound. So again, thanks to everyone who's been helping me on the chat, and I'll see you in the next one.